Change your name, that's why. It's all in the name change.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are live. Yeah.
Right, and this week's topic is, Anita?
Limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs.
Yes. And how we I kind of feel like we cling on to that term, limiting beliefs.
Mm.
And we kind of sit there and what does it really mean? Where are the limiting beliefs? Where are they coming from? What are they? Does our soul, does our inner being really have limiting beliefs? You know, really?
No. Here's Patricia. Welcome, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good evening. Well, you're good morning with Hillary.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong day as well.
Yeah, you're on Friday, aren't you?
Yeah, that just confuses me. Absolutely confuses me.
Yeah,
So
on
Patricia's
Friday,
on Thursday morning, Hillary's on Friday morning, and Rosa and I are on Thursday evening. So it's just because we're all here live at the same time. It's more than my small brain can cope with on a Thursday. But yeah, it's just I know that I've in the past sort of through the coaching work that I've done, you know, talked to people about limiting beliefs and everything. Then I started to think, hang on a minute, I don't know anybody, even though they've repeated affirmations for mantras for years, have never actually managed to remove the limiting belief. You know, and then you sort of start to think, so where do they stem from? And invariably they stem from your childhood. That somebody said something to you, did something to you, could have been a relative, could have been a stranger, and it's kind of sat with you and everything, and you've personalized it. When actually, I mean, I remember I had this uncle, horrible man, and he used to walk in the door as a child. I mean, he died when I was 13. So when I was a child, he used to walk in his front door and he'd sort of look at you, go, "Ugh, here she comes, the ugly one." You know, and then he would say to, oh yeah, he would say to me and my cousins, this was in what, the 1970s, here's half a penny, go and buy yourself some sweets. And he was so tight with money and everything. And all of that, I personalized all of that without thinking, actually, it had nothing to do with me.
No.
It was all about him. It said everything about him, you know, but I internalized a lot of that messaging. But actually reminding myself where some of these sort of beliefs of mine come from, that's nothing about me. This is nothing about me. It says everything about that person. And it is really interesting. I mean, one of the biggest ones I was able to let go was around my natural father. And because when I was diagnosed with cancer, my mum said, do you want me to find him and tell him? And I sat there and I thought, no, I don't. And I'd internalized so much of what he'd done and realized that actually none of it was about me and it was about him. And I managed to let so much go as a result of that. But when it comes to manifesting, we don't manifest through our subconscious. It's through our higher being, our soul, our inner voice. And that has no limiting beliefs. There are no limiting beliefs at that level. You know, so it's kind of, if you believe in that, in your soul, in your higher being, your inner self, whatever you want to call it, if you believe in that, then you have to believe that it has a connection to the universe or to source or God, or again, whatever you want to call it. And most people are so disconnected from that part of themselves that all they hear is their subconscious, never their superconscious.
Mm.
And as I said earlier, Hilary, sometimes there's always going to be moments when we overwhelm and that negative chatter and whatever invades, and you just say, stop, really forcefully.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm going to think of something happier. I'm going to think of something better. It might be the opposite to what I'm thinking, or it could be something completely different. But it's that changing that state.
It's
It's often good to get off the subject, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, always.
And it's catching yourself,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because before we know where we are, we've run away with the limiting belief about whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. It's taken over.
yeah. So the question then is, how do we train ourselves? I know you say stop, but we could be like halfway down the road before we realize to stop. So how do
Thoughts trigger your emotions.
we?
And when that negative thought comes in, you might not have caught it, but your emotions will change and shift like that. So if you recognize, hang on a minute, 5 minutes ago I was all right, and now I'm starting to decline in my mood. So what triggered it? I'm trying to find that thing, just saying, stop. Just stop. Because the thing is about those limiting beliefs and where they come from, you can't go back and change what created it.
No.
Can't change the story. What you can do is change your reaction to it now. And recognize when your emotions dive, it's because you've had a negative thought.
Do you struggle, Patricia, with limiting beliefs? Is it a subject that you recognize? Some people don't recognize it, I think. Some people don't understand what's going on.
Well, that's such a loaded question. I'm raised by my mom, who passed. It'll be 2 years actually on the 12th of this month. She was a strong woman, but she was very limited in her thinking. She grew through the Depression, so her mindset was, you hang on to everything, you pinch your pennies, money's hard to get, you have to work hard for your money. All of especially when it came to money, I was raised to believe that money was hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. You're going to have a job. You have to do whatever it takes to create money. And it has taken me, when I discovered Abraham Hicks' teaching about 7 years ago, I was excited to read and listen to what they had to say. And it's like, wow, if I could actually change the way I was thinking. And it's now just taken me so many years just to even start kind of touching the iceberg of that, and listening to myself. And like you said, being aware of the negative thoughts that come in. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. And by the time sometimes by you catch it, you're on this slippery slope downwards, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I feel like I got a mountain to climb. So with the limiting beliefs, I've been really pouring myself into and allowing myself to be more aware. I've been reading. Thoughts that come in. Sometimes you catch them. Yeah. Yeah, when I catch myself, it's not too bad. And I'll practice the best way to help myself get out of those limiting beliefs and go down that slippery slope is to practice gratitude. Just whatever I'm doing, even if I'm out, I'll stop, breathe, and practice gratitude. What am I grateful for right in this very moment? What am I grateful for? It's like, well, everything's okay. The world's not falling out from underneath my feet. I'm alive. I have a roof over my head. I have food on the table. I have running water. I have clothes to wear. So I start there. Sometimes it helps, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah, limiting beliefs they're hard to get over because we're so ingrained with it from childhood, and you don't realize it until I'm grateful that I actually came across this information to help me get past the limiting beliefs. So many people don't even get that chance.
Yeah. They don't even know they've got them.
No, exactly.
It's interesting. I was talking to Rosa and Hilary just a bit before, and I was in my son's parents' evening, and I can see him developing limiting beliefs on a certain subject. And I sort of said to the teachers, and they said, "Oh, yeah, we praise them," and because it's confidence, it's purely confidence. And so, we praise him, and I said, no. You want to ask him what is he saying to himself? What is the conversation he is having with himself about this subject? And that's the only way you can stop it. Praising him and everything, yes, he enjoys it, of course he does, but it doesn't overcome the chatter he's saying to himself. He was doing something today when he got back from school, and he was like, "Oh, I'm such an idiot." I said, "No, we don't talk to ourselves like that, do we?" Because it's stopping it now. He's young enough to stop it now. But I think we can spend a bit too much time focusing on limiting beliefs and almost bringing them more to the surface, and they become self-perpetuating. And if we sort of trust in our higher self, inner being, soul, whatever we want to call it, if we trust in that, the rest will follow. And it is that, for me, is the journey, is learning the trust in something that isn't reliant on my five senses. It supersedes my five senses, and it knows the bigger picture, and it knows me better than, because we live our lives governed by our mind. We don't govern our mind. And when I first heard that, I thought, well, hang on a minute. If I can govern, what is governing my mind? Because my mind is me, isn't it? And you realize that no, it isn't. And that's been one of the most freeing things, I think, for me.
Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about that very thing, that there's basically two of us. There's our subconscious, there's our physical being, and then there's our mind, our higher self, or whatever you want to call it. And he talks about that quite a bit. I actually just started reading a book, Excuses Be Gone.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, why haven't I read this book earlier? He talks about how most of the society talks about it was inherited, or my parents were like that, so I'm like that. And so those are all excuses that we use because we don't know any better. For most of us, we don't know that we can actually change our DNA and change our thoughts. If we change, it's not who we are. It's what we think about. We can actually change right down to ourselves what we think.
Is it in that? I'm sure it's in that book. Sorry.
Nope, it's okay.
I think it's in that book, isn't it, where he says that, you know, if you're the oldest child, it's because of this. If you're the youngest child, it's because of this. If you're the middle child, it's because of this. And if you're an only child, it's, you know, well, you're stuffed and, you know, all those things. And everybody's got a reason to be, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't got that far. I'm only in the first 10 pages here. So if that's in here, that's interesting. I haven't got it for it yet.
Yeah.
It is interesting because
yeah.
My big thing is personal responsibility, and I feel like I've got to an age now where and I hit that age quite a long time ago. I can't blame my parents anymore, and I haven't been able to really blame my parents for a long time because I was an adult and I've made decisions and choices. Yes, shaped by the childhood I had, but then you get to an age where you can actually rationalize that, you know. And I remember sort of thinking one point I'd been in a long relationship, and I fell out of love. It stopped, you know, being meaningful for me anymore, and I didn't, you know, it wasn't working, and put the effort in, and it still wasn't working. And it dawned on me that that's what happened to my parents. And it happened, you know, he fell out of love. He went about it in a horrible way, but it happens. They were married when they were 19, for God's sake. You know, it's that's ridiculous age to get. Now would say it's a ridiculous age to get married. But when you start to, you grow up and you rationalize it and you think, okay, so I can't really, and then you realize that bit of it, it's not for you to judge, because that wasn't your relationship. That was between them. You know, and you start to mature and realize, actually, it's time I started or stopped hiding behind that and started taking responsibility for my own actions, because I've made choices that I'm old enough now to go, you know what, hands up, captured, I did that, and this is the consequence, and I've got to learn from it. And my God, that's hard to do, because it's so easy to go, oh, well, it's their fault. You know, that is just so much easier than saying, yeah, no, I got it wrong. It's my fault.
It is. Well, my son blamed me for being, I guess, the worst parent on the planet. Didn't talk to me for 10 years up until the last few months here. And I didn't even tell me when my grandchildren arrived, nothing. And at first, when it first all happened, of course, I was devastated. I was heartbroken. He's my only child. Oh yeah, that's my fault too, because I didn't give him a sibling. It's like, okay, whatever. And so I went through all the emotions, the anger, the depression, the grief, because it's like losing somebody, but you know they're still alive. And he said horrible things to me, horrible things about me. And so it was funny, after my mom passed, which was a big deal for our family. She was the head of the family. They were very close. My son was very close to his grandmother, my mom, which I was very happy for, because at least he had some family connection there, which was really good. So when she passed, I felt there was this void. I was afraid that would be it. There would be no chance of kind of helping this relationship along. And so I let it go. For the first time in 9 years, I just let it go. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. I have to keep living my life. I want to live the best life I can. I'm 60. The best years are still in front of me. The best things are still yet to happen for me. And I'm excited. I'm excited right to my core about what's happening in my life. And if he chooses to be a part of that, great. I send him that great energy. We moved a month ago to closer to where they are, but not because of that. but for business. And I have seen him every weekend for the last month now with the grandkids. And the last 10 years didn't even happen. I can't even explain it, not even going to try. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. Do you think he
Oh, that's
found it hard to
amazing.
find his way back to you? Because he knew what he'd done?
Yeah, he definitely found it very, very challenging to make his way back. He's still not really talkative, but at least he's open enough to be in the same,
Yeah.
5 feet as me and my husband. And he's open to us having a close relationship with the grandkids.
That's wonderful, isn't it?
And I think he learned that lesson because he realized how close he was to his grandmother. He was devastated when she passed, of course. I get that. And I think because that happened, he was like, oh, maybe it's important that my kids have a relationship with their grandparents, regardless of what.
Mm.
So I'm glad that he came to that. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of emotions and thoughts and things he'd like to say. And in time, maybe it'll happen. He'll say it or not. I'm okay with everything that's happening with the relationship, and I have absolutely zero expectation. You just enjoy and take it as it comes.
Yeah.
I think that point you made, though, letting go.
Yeah.
Letting go, actually, you bring things to you.
Mm.
And holding on too tightly.
Yeah, because you get out your own way then, don't you? By letting go, you get out your own way. And I mean, when Guy is always going on about getting in your own way, and you say, what's he on about? But it's
until this happened with my son, when I just completely 1,000,000% just let it go. And I was like, well, I still need to live my life. And it's looking pretty darn good right now. It's coming out of a winter and going into a spring, summer, not just with the seasons, but with our personal life. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm not going to allow all of the rest of that to rob me or allow it to rob me. I'm not going to let myself go there anymore because it's just, I feel so much better with that situation. And I'm like, oh, so that's how you kind of let go. I'm not sure exactly how I did it, or I can't even explain that part, but all I know is I did. And I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
I hope that makes
I think when you let it go, you've got to really, it's got to be really, it's okay either way. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't matter. It doesn't have any impact.
100%, yes. It has no impact.
Yeah.
I'm completely indifferent to whatever the outcome was going to be. Whether he talked to me ever again, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So difficult, isn't
It's
it?
an amazing story.
Yeah. Yeah. How many grandchildren have you got?
I have how many grandchildren?
Yeah.
Well, between the two of us, we have 6 grandchildren. 3 are biologically mine, and 3 are step grandchildren.
Yeah.
They're all beautiful, and
yeah.
So I'm grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm the same. We've got 8 between us. 4 are mine, 4 are Dave's. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And they're all the same. It's not. No. I mean, I say that when we're talking now, 4 are Dave's and 4 are mine. But if somebody said to me, how many grandchildren have you got? I would just automatically say 8.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And then if they asked more information, I would then say, no, 4 are Dave's and 4 are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Really lovely. Yeah.
It's a lovely approach, because I know some people who are their in-laws haven't accepted their children from previous marriage, and they've just been like, no, they're not my grandchildren.
And that's so sad, because
It's
not their fault. They're just children.
No.
And
yeah, and you miss out on so much.
Oh,
100%. So much.
And you never get that time back, and it's not their fault. know, it's funny really, because I've been going down this bit of a guilt about I don't see enough of my grandchildren, and I was getting a bit twitchy, and you know, I should do more and I should do more, but I like the contact I have and the amount of contact I have. But my sisters have more contact with their grandchildren, and I was going down the, you know, oh, always me, you know. And I went out with, oh, we've lost Anita. And I went out with my son the other day for a dog walk, who's got 3 children. And it was most weird because he said to me, we were talking about going out and doing one thing and another, and he said to me, I want a life like you and Dave have got, Mum. You've got purpose in your life, and you know where you want to go, and you know who you want to be with, and you know what you want to do. And I thought, do you know, he's right. He's right. It's not about that. That is my life. But all of a sudden, I was looking at my family and seeing what they had, and started to feel guilty because I hadn't got. But they don't have the life I have.
Right.
It really caught me, you know, for a split. I thought, wow. And it was funny that just that sentence from him, like, made everything right.
Lovely.
Isn't it funny how somebody can say just one simple thing, or you hear one simple thing, or you read just a phrase or a sentence, and then it dawns on you, you get it.
Yeah.
You caught the lesson, or you caught the idea. It's like, oh.
And the thing is, you could have heard it for the last 10 years. Couldn't you?
You didn't hear it.
And you didn't hear it, because isn't that another one of Wayne Dyer's classics? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I used to think, what teacher? Where is my teacher? You know what I mean? And it's like, God. You see, the trouble is with me talking about limited beliefs. If somebody says to me, a teacher, I expect an actual teacher to appear. And this is why I'm struggling with Italian, because when I hear Italian, I translate it exactly, and you don't do that. And that is where I like struggle, because I am so like that when it comes to certain things that are said. Yeah, I don't think that's a limiting belief. I think I've digressed. I'm very good at digressing, Patricia.
Are you?
Yeah.
Just to let you know, Anita's battery died, so she's commenting on here. She just said something. Sometimes you need to see the external to see the truth, and she said it's very true about Wayne Dyer, and she said very literal, Rosaball.
Yeah.
So how long have you ladies, I see it says show me team. Are you all part of this group or this team?
Yeah, we
Yes.
we created it, didn't we? Hillary
Okay.
and Eve and myself, we created the Show Me Facebook group and the courses that we're going to do, and yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I was meant to find it, obviously, because
Yeah, it's amazing to have you on.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. It's nice to have you here, Patricia. It's nice to get to know other people and to be able to bounce off other people and sometimes feel that you're not alone. Doesn't matter how much you know, there's always somebody that can give you that guidance or that reassurance, isn't there?
Well, it's funny you say not alone, because like I said, we just moved here to Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada, 6 hours away from where we used to live. I am unemployed, and first time in my life, I'm in a situation where I actually don't have to go just get a job in order to create income. I can actually look at doing something that I really want to do or enjoy. And right now, I feel like a toddler. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, brilliant though.
What do I do now? I mean, yeah, I see my grandkids on the weekends, but they're busy. and they're 6, 8, and 10, and they have their life, and I have no intention in
Yeah.
disrupting that at all. And so I find myself, I look forward to this because I get to talk to other people and hear ideas and how other people are going through things. And I'm like, okay, well, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. I really don't. I'm not,
Hillary and I, if you're interested, Hillary and I also run an Ignite Your Life with Abraham Hicks Facebook group. And we're just about to go live into there on a Zoom call.
Yes.
Ignite Your Life.
Ignite Your Life with Abraham
Yeah.
Hicks, yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's ABE, isn't it? Oh, no, it's Abraham Hicks, isn't it?
Yeah. Abraham Hicks, yeah. Ignite Your Life with Abraham Hicks, yeah.
And like we're going live now into, we'll go through Zoom. We're going to do a live Zoom call. So,
Okay.
I mean, can we send Patricia can we put it in the chat, the link?
Yes, I'll do it. Let me just very quickly do it because we're going to have to shoot off
Yeah.
in a sec, aren't we? But I'll get the link. 1 second, I've got it here.
Yeah,
And you can come and join us.
come and join us if you want, Patricia.
I would love to.
We're discussing the book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money.
A happy pocket full of money. Well, that sounds awesome.
Brilliant.
It's great. Have you not? Oh God, I can't do it because of the thing.
I haven't read that book.
Have you not read it? Oh, it's great, Patricia. It's
But we've got the PDFs in the we're putting them in the group as well, so you can read it that way. There is the group in the chat. So if you click on that, you can come and join our group and we'll get you on the other one as well. And we really need to probably get on that one.
We need to go, Don. If we don't see you on the next group, we'll see you next week.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.